I came home from my business trip late on a Friday night, expecting everything to be exactly how I left it. Instead, the moment I walked into the living room, something felt off. A new sofa sat in the center of the room. Sleek, modern, something out of a catalog. I blinked, dropping my suitcase by the door, my mind catching up with the change. We hadn't talked about replacing anything before I left. New couch? I called out, forcing a small laugh. Footsteps echoed from the hallway, and then Emily appeared, her smile a little too bright, her voice a little too light. Surprise. I looked back at the couch, nodding slowly. Did the old one break or something? Emily tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, a habit I knew well. She only did that when she was nervous. No, I wanted a change. I frowned. Without telling me? Her smile faltered for half a second before she recovered. I wanted to surprise you. I should have let it go. I should have just accepted the answer and moved on. But something about her tone, her body language, the way she refused to meet my eyes for too long, it put a bad taste in my mouth. Still, I was exhausted, and I told myself I was overthinking it. So I kissed her, unpacked my bags, and let it slide. But I should have trusted my gut, because within days, the truth started to unravel. The first clue came when the old couch was hauled away. I wasn't home when the delivery guys took it, but I noticed something strange when I saw it sitting on the curb. One of the legs was broken. Not just scratched or dented, snapped clean off. I crouched down, running my fingers over the jagged break. This didn't happen from wear and tear. This wasn't from us simply using the couch too much. This was from force. Like something, or someone, had slammed against it. An uneasy feeling settled in my chest. I walked back inside, my mind racing. I could have ignored it, told myself it was a coincidence. But something about it didn't sit right. And when things don't sit right, I've learned one thing in life. You dig deeper. I started paying attention. Emily had been acting different since I got home. A little too happy. A little too accommodating. Like she was compensating for something. And then there were the other details. Her phone, once always left on the counter, was now always face down. Her schedule, usually predictable, had gaps that didn't make sense. And one night, as she came out of the shower, I noticed something else. A faint bruise on her thigh. I stared at it, my stomach twisting. She followed my gaze and froze for just a second before yanking her robe tighter. I bumped into the bed frame. A lie. I didn't call her out on it. Not yet, because I needed more. And I was going to find it. The next day, I checked our home security system. I had access to all the motion alerts while I was away, but I hadn't bothered checking them before. Now, I scrolled through them, looking for any gaps, any unexplained movement. And that's when I saw it. Thursday night, the night before the new couch arrived. Motion detected, multiple times. I clicked on the footage, my pulse pounding. At first, it was normal. Emily coming home. Then, an unfamiliar car pulling into our driveway. My stomach dropped. I zoomed in, my hands shaking. A man, tall, broad shoulders, short dark hair. He looked too comfortable as he stepped inside. I fast-forwarded the footage. The timestamps blurred together. Minutes turned to hours. He never left. Not until almost 3 a.m. And suddenly, the broken couch made sense. I clenched my jaw, breathing hard. They had been here. In my house. On my furniture. And they had been careless enough to break it. I closed my laptop, my vision red. I could have confronted her immediately. I could have screamed, demanded answers, thrown her out. But I didn't. Because Emily had already crossed the line. Now, I was going to make sure she lost everything. For the next week, I planned. I played the perfect husband. Smiling. Kissing her. Pretending I didn't know she had desecrated our home. And all the while, I was collecting evidence. I checked our bank statements. There were charges to a hotel, just a few miles from our house. I checked her text messages when she was in the shower. She had been smart enough to delete most of them, but she had forgotten one. Last time was amazing. Can't wait to see you again. No name attached. Just a number. I copied it. Ran it through a lookup service. His name was Derek. A personal trainer. Someone she had met at the gym. Someone who saw me was probably smiling at me, knowing full well that he was having fun with my wife. I clenched my fists, my whole body trembling. They thought they were so careful. They thought I'd never know. But now, I did. And I was going to destroy them. I waited for the perfect night. Friday. The night Emily said she was going out with friends. I followed her. Sure enough, she didn't go to the bar. She went to him. I waited outside in my car. I let them have their fun. And then, just as they were probably coming down from their little high, I sent the messages. To Emily's parents. To her best friends. To her boss. Every single photo, every screenshot, every bit of proof. And then, the final message, to her. Check your phone. I watched from my car as her face went pale. Her hands started shaking as she scrolled, her entire world crashing around her. Derek grabbed his phone too. And I knew. He had gotten the same thing. Because I had found his girlfriend's number too. And now, she knew everything. Emily stumbled out of the house, her face twisted in panic. She tried calling me. I let it ring. And then, as she texted me, "Please, let me explain," I sent my final reply. "You already did." Then, I drove away, leaving her to drown in her own mess. Emily tried to fix it. She tried begging, crying, apologizing. But it was too late. Derek? Gone. Her family? Ashamed. Her friends? Silent. Her job? In jeopardy. She had ruined everything for a few stolen nights with a man who didn't even want her anymore. She thought she could cheat and walk away clean. Instead, she lost everything. And I never looked back. Thank you for listening to the story to the end. Please like, share your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel.